Hi everybody. Right now, as you can tell, I'm right by my dojo, so ignore that. But I wanted to explain to some folks why do I do feasting and fasting on carnivore, and even why I do carnivore. I found out I was pre-diabetic, and when I found out I was pre-diabetic from the nurse, they told me that I could exercise and lose weight if I wanted to go ahead and manage my diabetes, meaning that I will be diabetic one day. I will be having all of the problems that diabetics do. I thought I was eating healthy. At that time, I was eating the Western price diet, plenty of breads, even though it was sourdough breads, plenty of fats, because I was very well aware of the fats. I decided to do workout for 7 months because I was thinking, oh, exercise must be the way. Everybody's telling me it is. I actually gained a pound. And I mean, yes, I saw a little bit of endurance gain, but for 7 months, nothing. So I decided, hey, there was a 6-week challenge in my Orange Theory. And I was like, all right, I'll take it on. 6 weeks challenge. I can change my diet for 6 weeks. What's the big deal? 6 weeks, anybody can do anything for 6 weeks. So I did that. And I saw the transformation within that 6 weeks. Within the first week, it seemed like I lost 10 pounds. Looked like I lost 30. So that was exciting. I was like, this is crazy. I almost felt like I wanted to beat somebody up because I thought the answer was in the workout, and the whole time it was in the diet. I was doing low carb, high fat because that's why I found out on the internet from Diet Doctor, low carb, high fat to get rid of diabetes. And that was my only goal, get rid of diabetes. A lot of other problems, heel spur, plantar fasciitis, sleep apnea, horrible acne, diverticulitis. So fast forward on, I noticed that I did not like the greens, because pretty much keto or low carb high fat seem to be just green and vegetables. Nothing that I liked. I mean, if I wanted to boil it down, I like things simple. I don't like things complicated. They were like, oh yeah, you could have keto treats. You could buy this xylitol and this stevia, monk fruit. And that was so confusing to me. And I was like, I'm just gonna stick with meats and greens, and that's what I did at first. And I was like, I hate those greens. Why am I doing this? Like, is it possible to do it without the greens and just do meat only? So I did. So I went for 6 weeks with pretty much a carnivore diet at that time. The only thing that I kept in was coconut oil and olives for 6 weeks. I felt really good. Things were changing very quickly. My pains were reducing quite a bit. The only thing is that after 2 months, I didn't want to stop it after 6 weeks, so I went over. I think I went 2.5 months, and then I got the keto carnivore flu. During that time, I had a big scare from my nurse. I would update them, the nurse and doctors and all that. And they were like, oh, see what you're doing, you're killing yourself, that kind of stuff. And also I would do blood work pretty often, every quarter. So they knew of my blood work. They're like, look, your cholesterol's gone high, blood pressure's gone higher. My blood pressure actually went higher too. So all kinds of things were going bad. In the face of all that challenge with the keto carnivore flu, which was horrible. I felt like I was dying. Couldn't breathe most of the time. It was just horrendous. And that lasted for like a month. First week was miserable. Second week, I started kind of pulling out of it. Third week was getting a little bit better. By the fourth week, I started feeling like a normal human being by then. So by that time, I went ahead, just went low carb-ish, gained a little bit of weight, of course, and then I discovered fasting. So that's where my fasting period comes in. I remembered when I was doing 12 hours of fast back then for blood work, that I could barely do that. I thought that was the most difficult thing ever. I was like, I don't know how people can fast. I started out testing out the 12-hour, 13-hour mark and noticed how much I ate afterwards. And then down to the 16-hour mark. And then, I went to 24 hours. So I built my way up in it. And then I started doing 48s, 72s. I've done as much as 5 days, with low carbs. Even though it's low, I still had enough tortillas or whatever to make me crave more and have little binges here and there too. So I just couldn't abstain. Well, after September, when Dr. Baker called in, he was like, hey, I would need people to do 3 months of carnivore who's never done it before. And keep your track of your blood work, sleep, what you eat, everything. So now, where does this story come in about me feasting? How did I learn how to feast? Biggest thing, when I was going through my carnivore journey, I knew one thing in my mind. I said to myself, hey, I don't want to fail for those 3 months because Dr. Baker, was issuing that challenge. So I said to myself, I am doing 3 months. And I was like, no matter what I do, I will go for meat first. So I made sure I stuffed myself. I stuffed myself and ate all day long because I told myself, look, if I keep myself full, I'm not going to crave anything. I'm not going to feel like I need anything. And sure enough, it worked. I was shocked. I actually started getting tired of food. So then, of course, I started introducing fasting on top of that too. And I was like, wait a minute, this is working really well together. Here's the reason, because I started getting tired of eating so much. After a while of stuffing myself, I was like, oh my God, I can't even eat much. So it was actually easier than in my low carb days to fast. And I noticed I would go like OMADs like it's next to nothing. So I'm like, wait a minute, there's got to be something there. So there's some kind of formula that I could make up for this. The other thing I noticed is the feasting and fasting complemented each other. Whenever I'd fast, my appetite would open up again. Because what would happen is if I keep on feasting, my meals started getting less and less. So by actually fasting and giving myself a break, I would open up that appetite again where I can eat a huge amount. So that was a huge revelation for me. At that time, I was just using it for myself. I wasn't coaching anybody. I wasn't interested in coaching anybody. I believe in the power of carnivore. The power is carnivore. Fasting is carnivore on steroids. That's the only difference. But the importance is being able to put that amount of meat in you. My whole journey did take 1.5 years before I started looking really good. Also, I noticed that after 3 days, 72 hours or so, I noticed that fasting became much easier. Really, after the 48th hour, I stopped wanting to eat. What's the point of people fasting past that point? Sure, I read a lot of documentation proving that 10-day fast are great, 14 days fast are great, but I was like, I'm not interested in that. I wanted to be at the difficult moment. I had that thought in my mind, like, what if I practiced and trained myself to keep on doing these difficult fasts, like 48s, like alternate day fasting over and over again? What would happen to me? And that curiosity led me into exploring these rolling 48s, using the difficult times to train my body. Hey, sure thing, you could do a 15-day fast, right? I probably could too. But then that's 15 days out of the month, right? Then I'd have to recover. And it'd probably take me another, 3 months, 4 months to recover to do it again. Now, I know some hardcore people that just do it, crazily like that. But I don't see them getting the results that they should for doing such hard fasts. So that made me realize this is probably not the way. So now, when I did my alternate day fast, I think to myself, look, I do it for a whole month. I do it for 6 months straight. So if we count 15 days a month, let's just average, times 6. How many fasts have I done? Actual days without eating have I done in that way? And I thought, wow, that must be the more powerful way to do it. So that was one of the revelations that I had about fasting. And that really helped me to stick with the hardship of it. And I kept on thinking to myself, it's a training. Just like my karate is. It's a training. It's not pleasant. I don't like doing karate. I'm about to go in. My son's in right now. And you know what? I don't want to go in. I don't want to do it. Not because I don't like it. I love it. I think it's great. But because there's a fear in me of doing this. It's like, oh man, I don't want to get tired. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to, X, Y, Z, whatever excuse I have. You know what? Fasting is the same excuses that I get in my mind. Same thing. Oh, maybe I can't do it today. Maybe I shouldn't do it today. Maybe this is the wrong day to do it. Just like karate, there is a point where you make the excuse where it can be valid. There's a time where you do push yourself too hard. Also in the gym, I've noticed that. There is a point where you do push yourself too hard and you do need to back down. And there is a training for that too. So there is that fine line. You do need to push yourself enough where you're doing it. But you don't want to push yourself too much where you're doing too much. So a schedule was very important for me. And this is why I developed a schedule for my clients. I have it a week by week schedule. I learned how to tailor it. The results I get from watching my clients. That's amazing by itself. I have probably about 400 clients now. Testing it out at first and not quite successful. I had to learn a lot to figure it out. And right now I'm doing a group challenge with Bella in the Steak and Badagal challenge. I'm doing it Sunday, so it's a group level fasting. This is one of my passions right now. I want it where I can have 70 people. We're gonna try this as a group. Also, one of the biggest things I issue on the challenge is no white knuckling. And I give them the schedule of what to do. All it is they have to show up, listen, and follow. And I believe my formula is simple enough, easy enough to follow. It makes carnivore much easier. There's something about feasting and fasting. When I want to feast, I want to feast on meats. There's no way I'm ever going to cheat for carbs. Also, I try to teach about the mindset. And I think a mindset is important in this aspect. My sensei, he talks about that mindset a lot. We train quite a bit, but the mindset is very important. The way we visualize things, according to him, is very important. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please comment it below. If you would like to see more of these kind of videos from a carnivore's perspective, give me ideas. What do you want to see more of? What would you like to see from me so that I can help you be a better carnivore, be a better faster, be a better you? Anyways, thank you. Like and subscribe, and please remember, I'm here every Tuesday, Friday, Sunday on Bella's channel. So if you wanted to see me live, talk to me live, and let me encourage you, let me lead you, guide you, I'm here for you. All right, thank you very much. Be curious, stay curious.